Pat McAfee, ESPN Game Day story. Jake was reading on The Athletic. The Athletic did a survey.
About 3,000 people.
Of their readers. And they asked, hey, do you like Pat McAfee on College Game Day? 30% said, yeah, we like Pat McAfee. The only problem with that is about 49% said, hell no, we don't like Pat McAfee.
Because it's garbage.
And over almost, half of the respondents said they do not like Pat McAfee on College Game Day.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many. I watch Pat McAfee's show every day. Did you guys notice he was in long sleeves today?
And
he was in Indianapolis at his studio in long sleeves today. And he had gotten a haircut, and he was, I don't know what you thought. We didn't really talk about it. We were trying to prep for the show, but their show was a lot more straight and narrow today.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they clearly, and I'm not saying that they were told, I don't know, but yeah, it was very much like streamlined, topic. Hey, Saban interview, they were just sort of going through it as a show. They were just doing what a normal, more traditional show would do. Now, of course, their character still comes through. But I think days like today, they did a better show today. And it's a more palatable product when you're topic driven and you have some good interviews and Pat's wearing sleeves instead of a tank top, and he doesn't look like a bro. He looks like a host. And I think, that's the thing that I struggle with Pat. And I think the game day thing goes much further though. Like game day, I think that he's not getting good reception on game day because game day was always a show that really gave you a wonderful mix of, hey, hardcore, what do you guys think about this game and that game? And hey, this great venue. And
then Corso puts on the mascot helmet.
Yeah. And
right.
You didn't have and I know not everyone in the country is a Washington State fan, but you never had guys going after your school. Like that didn't happen. And so that whole thing went down with Pat. And I think
with Washington State.
Yeah. And I think it just rubbed people the wrong way. And I think that it's no secret that Pat is an acquired taste. He's not for everyone, and our show's not for everyone. But I think when you're on ESPN and you've got that much viewership, dude, you can't be so out there. You can't just do whatever you want.
But I think the other part of this is stylistically, Pat McAfee is so different than David Pollack. And admittedly, I am a huge David Pollack guy. I worked with him at ESPN, good dude.
Yeah.
Good human. But Pat McAfee didn't get David Pollack fired. But I think a lot of people look at it very A to B. Well, Pat's there. David Pollack's not. Pat's an asshole because David Pollack got fired.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what it was, right? Like Gene Wojciechowski, one of the best feature reporters in the country. It's not there anymore. You look at all of these guys that got laid off at ESPN, College Game Day lost a good bit of its flavor. And I think that one of the major issues here is that College Game Day went very much to bro talk. And ESPN, in my opinion, I think ESPN very much has a Pat McAfee burnout factor.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is everywhere. If you go read a football story in the NFL or in college football at ESPN.com, you're getting a clip of the Pat McAfee show. If you turn on Game Day, Pat McAfee show. If you turn on ESPN Radio, you're getting a clip of the Pat McAfee show. Hey, Nick Saban was on the Pat McAfee show. Hey, Aaron Rodgers. Hey. It's all Pat McAfee at ESPN.
Yeah.
And I think there's a high level of burnout. And I think the other part of this is remember the names who've been at ESPN who aren't there anymore. The Colin Cowherds, the Jim Romes. You think about the guys. The Dan Le Batard is another one. That people really like Dan Le Batard, whether you liked his show with Stu Gatz or not. Well, you got to go to DraftKings to get that now. And 9 out of 10 people are not going to go to DraftKings. They want ESPN. The problem is the only talk show host you get at ESPN now, quite literally, is Pat McAfee, because he's the only one doing mainstream sports. Because the issue I think really is that Stephen A. Smith is not for everybody. And Greeny in the morning is not for everybody on Get Up. And they don't really do a talk show. They do a highlight show. I think it's just a lot with Pat. And I think College Game Day, the one guy I think they miss is David Pollack. And maybe I'm making too much out of David. the former Georgia Bulldog, but I think that show misses David Pollack tremendously.
Yeah, and I think David is widely respected, and yeah,
Absolutely.
whether it was on Pat or not, it's on Pat because David's gone and Pat got hired. It just is what it is. That's the business, and I think that it even furthers the point more. Hey, dude, you can't just come in here and turn game day into bro talk. That's not going to work because again, there is that sentiment about David. And again, I'm a big ESPN supporter, but I do think there are times where ESPN tends to be a little tone deaf on what the masses think about the moves they make. I understand you don't need to consult the public to lay people off, but you need to understand that if you're going to get rid of or lay off a David Pollack level personality, you better understand that you're going to catch some flack for that. And the person you bring in to replace a guy that, was David Pollack, that person better be really good and better appeal to more than 50% of your crowd. And I can't confidently say that Pat McAfee appeases more than 50% of the people who consume ESPN content regularly.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. It's never been about getting 80, 90, 100%. That's never going to happen. But ESPN can't have a situation where game day went backwards after the changes they made. That's not going to work.
Totally agree. Absolutely. I don't know. Again, I feel like we do this on a weekly basis. You guys?
Because he's weekly basis been in the news.
The Washington State thing was terrible.
Yeah.
Like it is, dude, especially with Washington State's history on game day. And I just think Pat McAfee, it's much like the Dallas Cowboys thing yesterday, where their flagship radio station was openly rooting for Dak Prescott to get hurt. Have you no idea who listens to your radio station or watches your show on game day?
Yeah.
College game day is not about attacking fan bases, right? It's about talking about the biggest games in college football and telling the stories of college football. And I just don't think that's who Pat McAfee is. And it's brutal. It's brutal where ESPN is. And, the other part of this conversation, you guys, is they released their earnings and they're making money hand over fist. Now, they're down slightly because their ad revenue is down slightly. But look at that number. They've made $11.5 billion in the first 3 quarters of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's ESPN on its own. Has made $11.5 billion in 9 months.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. And people are like, oh, they're struggling financially because nobody watches. Well, here's the thing you can't get away from. Everybody watches ESPN. And think about it. Put it in your head right now. How many impressions do you get with ESPN in your sports fandom? Because if you're a fan of Penn State, Ohio State, Oklahoma State, anybody in Dallas, right? Anybody in Houston, our show's massive across the state of Texas, Florida, California. Everywhere you are that you're a fan of a team, you have to be with ESPN because your team's going to be on ESPN and probably is on ESPN. And I think what's remarkable is the viewer revenue is not down. It's the ad revenue that's down. The advertising dollar is down. And trust me, being in the advertising business, it's down. It is absolutely down. But you look at the numbers. Look at what Bloomberg said today. Bloomberg said if Disney wants to sell ESPN, it's worth $22 billion. They value ESPN at $22 billion as a company.
Yeah.
That is wild to me. And I go back to this Pat McAfee thing. Washington State is one of the top TV markets as far as a team and a brand goes in the West. Washington State football draws a very nice number. And it's incredible that Pat either doesn't know that or doesn't care. In a situation where ESPN needs every viewer it can get, because now, a year from now, my guess is they have some model that is only available direct to consumer. It's going to be called DTC.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to try and keep fighting for cable subscriptions. I think by 2025, Andrew Marchand at the New York Post, one of the foremost media guys in this country, the foremost media guy, is predicting that by 2025, ESPN is direct to consumer. So you need every subscriber you can get on your digital platforms and in your app. And ripping Washington State is probably not the best way to do that.
No, it's not.
So I think it's very interesting. Let's get your comments in here. James says ESPN Game Day needs to bring David Pollack back. Pat McAfee is okay during the week. I don't disagree. Elaine Tran says I like Fox. Fox for college football. Gus Johnson wears me out very quickly. I think I like play-by-play guys that talk. Gus Johnson yells at me, and it's uncomfortable at times. Tim Brando's okay, but like Joel Klatt's very good, but I can only do half an hour of Colin Cowherd's show. And he's so inaccurate so often that it's really tough to watch.
I don't even believe that Colin's bringing his own opinion most days.
I would agree.
Like, I think you can tell it's just oh yeah, we got to do a show, so let's bring out some hot takes. Doesn't matter what we actually think.
Yep. You guys are awesome with these Michigan theories. Michigan had a couple of grad assistants go to a game with a Michigan cap, polos, super duper camcorders in the stands, recording only sidelines.
Schemers trying to control their little worlds.
Hey, what are you guys doing? Oh, we work at Michigan. We're stealing your signs. Can you even imagine that?
Yeah, can you go get us a hot dog while we do this? Thanks so much.
I mean,
hey guys,
it's unbelievable. Katie Rader, what's up with you? To Elaine Tran, welcome to some non-Baylor talk. Well, at least we're not talking bad things about Baylor, right?
Yeah.
Elaine Tran says, I hate Lee Corso too. You do? How do you hate Lee Corso?
Yeah, you're just different then, bro. You just have a different taste, and that's cool.
How on earth do you hate Lee Corso? He's just an old man. I'm curious how you hate Lee Corso. Johnny Gonzalez, how nervous is Harbaugh if you have to go through this much trouble to dominate that week of a schedule? Dude, you're not even kidding.
Yeah, man.
You are not even kidding about that. Matthew Farmer, not a fan myself, but let him be. Of Pat, I would assume you mean. Elaine Tran says, Katie, we just suck. Oh. But Elaine, are you in favor of firing? I hate to say that. Dave Aranda, he's such a good dude. You got to make a change there. Right? Alex Rea, getting busted via forensic accounting would be amazing. Can you imagine? The Christie, the only person who likes Pat on the show is the kid who won $30,000, right? Right. And I admit it, Pat is West Virginia salt of the earth. He's just a good dude. But he says some stuff, and I think that's why ESPN loves him. He says some stuff that's going to catch you off guard every day. And he is not for everybody. OG Gary, what's up, Gary? Let Pat be Pat. And by that, I mean old Barstool Pat. But when has he been old Barstool Pat?
Yeah.
How long has that been dead? Right? NBA Commissioner Salty Drunk. The other 20 don't give a fat rat's clacker like me. Well, I mean, that is true. That is 80% of the people. So that's good math. Tanner Plummer, what did the 21% of the other people say about Pat? Indifferent.
Yeah.
And I think you have the graphic in here. Do you not?
I do.
It's so hard to find it. There it is. No opinion. 30% like it. 49% don't like it. 21% are indifferent, which means
is even worse.
Yeah, that's even worse. You need somebody to be like, your show sucks. Your show is awesome. By the way, shout out to Michelle. Michelle at Harmon's in Riverton last night.
Oh.
Mrs. Monty and I were in there buying fresh apples at the I don't think it's new anymore.
I definitely refer to it as it's not new anymore.
But it's like the new Harmon's.
Yeah, the new Harmon's.
At Mountain View Village. Michelle was our cashier.
Hey guys.
And she said, hey, I love your podcast. I listen every day. And I said, I appreciate that. Thank you. That's very nice of you. I love when you guys say hello. If you see us, make sure you say hello. I can't remember the gentleman's name the other day downstairs. We walked out of our office tower, and there was a guy like, hey, Monty and Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a great conversation with him. So we really appreciate you guys when you say hello. And donuts, 30% casuals, seriously. The Christie, I just hope a student hustles Pat for $500,000 on a field goal. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, casual.
That'd be awesome. Richard Salino, what's up, Richard? Where you been? Harbaugh don't have respect to opposing coaches. If he wins, he'll say something you don't like. Yes, he will.
100%.
Yep. James Oak State, David Pollack knows a lot more about college football than Pat McAfee. Bring back David Pollack. Well, I mean, Pat's a pretty good college football guy.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that David Pollack knows more than Pat McAfee about football. I think that football is Pat McAfee, and I think that you need to respect that a little bit.
I think Pat gets in trouble when it's anything but football.
Yeah.
That's when Pat gets in trouble. If you want to talk beer drinking or football, Pat McAfee's your dude. You want to talk NBA, baseball, it's the guys on his show. Elaine Tran, noon is the best show now. Noon what? What do you mean? Aaron Wilson. This show is specifically designed to anger drunk Australians. It is. It's how we build the show every single day.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
And we're going to do that until you pay us the beer you owe us, James.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, it's not.
And I don't give a damn that you got to ship it on Qantas. Okay.
Yeah. Do what you got to do. Pay your bills.
Put it on the 747. Let's go.
No joke. I like Jake's shirt today.
Dude, why do we got to get all weird with it, man? Can we not just be grateful that, the power's on today and we can do a show?
Why
and
would you say that?
And everything's cool. Come on.
Yeah. How frustrating was that yesterday? For those of you who missed it, here on the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at Bucked Up Energy, the official energy provider of the Monty Show. We're just cruising along yesterday, having the biggest show of the month yesterday. And seriously, almost exactly 24 hours ago, the power went out. Some dude is on the top floor that we're in an office building. We built a studio in an office building.
Right.
Some bro is up on the top floor and he's like, yeah, screw it. We're going to turn the power off for a while. Some construction guy like, yeah, I'm just going to turn everything off.
So I said, yeah.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate you. We'll just be down here sitting in the dark.
Yeah, nice accident, Slick.
With like 1,000 DMs. Hey, what happened, dude? You guys okay? You guys all right? Is that
like we got abducted by aliens or something?
Bro, is that Hamas coming for that ass? What happened? Like,
just take a dice of AC.
The wild conspiracy theories. Oh man, Jaws' dad, T. Morant, turned off your power. Got like 10 of those. Jerks. Teddy Wayman, I love Pat McAfee's show. Believe on Monday he'll be repping a tank once again. I would agree.
Probably. Honestly.
I hope he always. The thing that I don't like, and I think you guys know this by now, I do not enjoy when people are like, you can't wear a tank top. So then he takes off a tank top and puts on a shirt. And it's like, that's not who you are, man. Again, BYU honor code. This is not who you are.
Yeah.
It's not who you are. And I hope Pat McAfee stays true to his brand every single day of his life because he has every right to. And you have every right not to watch his show, right? It just is what it is. I love College Game Day now. I skipped it before, but now I wake up for it early. Wow, really?
There you go.
2 holes, both hole burnout. Okay. I like your shirt today. I mean, it's Under Armour.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of second class to Nike, but,
Elaine Tran, Marcus, that's the reason I can't stand ESPN now. Marcus said it is now by design and contracts. Okay. Aaron Wilson says Prize Picks, prizepicks.com, the official daily fantasy partner of the Monty Show. Man, I took a bad beat last night. I had a $500 six-pack, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I went with, I should not get into it. Julius Randle screwed me by a point. The number was 19.5 in a preseason game. I took less. He went 20 points.
Suckmyass.com.
Dude. How, bro? Could not believe it. But let's get to today's Prize Picks. In the description below, you guys, super easy to play Prize Picks. You get 100% deposit matching when you use the promo code Monty. It is absolutely, I think, the best daily fantasy in the business. For us, it's a daily thing. You guys know this by now. We play it every single day. We love playing it every single day. It is super for us. It is absolutely what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, there it is. Here's Jake's Prize Picks today.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're going to need to help me understand why Austin Matthews 4.5 against Florida.
Because
that's the one that stands out to me as you're screwed.
How am I screwed? It's Austin Matthews, man. He should be in position. I just look at it as How are they going to play hockey? Is the guy I'm taking going to be in position to get shots on goal? Well, absolutely, Austin Matthews.
We went heavy hockey tonight. You also have Tage Thompson from Buffalo. He's got Calgary, so you should be all right at 4 shots. Jack Eichel, they're Winnipeg? Yeah, 4 shots is fine. Trevor Lawrence, 7.5 fantasy score. Trey Turner, 1.5 bases. I think you're in good shape there.